Hi my lovelies, this is a requested tutorial. You may have seen on my other journals how I do the elastic closure, and I've had a couple of people say that they have bought the hardware that's required, but they don't know how to attach the lace, the ribbon to the elastic. So I'm just going to show you guys quickly how to do that. So this journal I'm almost finished with, and now would be the time to put the binding on. I've got quite a bit of things to put on the front, but I don't want to make it so that I can't get the flathead screws in. So now's a really good time to do it. You do need to have the signatures at least, well, mine aren't sewn in yet, and that doesn't matter, but you need to be able to put them in so that you've got an approximate width of how tight you want the elastic. So here are the tools that you will need. I usually have a pair of pliers, a screwdriver, an awl. You can use a hole punch. Just be very careful that you don't punch a hole any bigger than this. That's why I usually use the awl. If you do, this will go straight through the hole, and you actually want that part of the flathead screw to sit up so that you can loop the elastic around it. If it goes in, you've got nothing to loop the elastic on. Okay, so as well as this not actually punching cardboard out of the board or out of the cover, it gives something for the screw to screw into, and it seems to hold it tighter. So this is my preferred method, but you can punch a hole, just make sure it's a really small one. Okay, so what I do first is I decide where my middle is, and I just put a hole through. As well as that, I find that the awl will go through the lace, whereas I have had a couple of boo-boos with punching holes through the fabric, and it kind of just gets caught, which seems a real waste of time. So then you've got your Phillips head screw that needs to go into this side. And I usually just start screwing that in a little bit at least. And you probably could do this by hand, but I honestly find it easier to actually use a screwdriver. Then I get the other part of the flathead screw, and just get ready for when the screw comes through to the other side. And I screw that on by hand as much as I can so that it's, and I do keep the screwdriver on the flathead screw just so that if I want to, I can use it to turn it, or it's going to stop it from spinning when I actually stick this on. I just need to get that through the lace. This part can be quite problematic. Okay, then I find it easiest to put the screw in, to the screwdriver into the screw side, hold that with a pliers so that you can really get a nice tight, and then you know it's not going anywhere. Okay, it's not always completely straight, but you can't tell when it's on your journal. Okay, so then wherever that is, I just hold the journal spine together and put it approximately in here so that they are a pretty good match. and I'm just going to screw that one on because you don't need to see me do that, so I'll pause the camera while I do that. Okay, so there we go, 2 flathead screws in. You can, now would be a really good time if you wanted to cover those. I don't seem to really mind that they're there. I think it's quite cool because all the metal that I use in the journals is usually that antique colour anyway, which is why I got them in that colour. So now what you need is, for me it's going to be black elastic. If you can get lacy elastic, it looks really nice, but I'm just going to use this for this journal because it's got a lot of lace happening anyway, and it is only a closure. So what you want to do, and this is why you need your signatures, so that you can approximate how much lace you're going to need. And all I do is loop that around, put it on the bottom one there, and I want to leave a little bit of room just in case people want to put more in it, but once it's closed I also want it to kind of hold the journal closed. So that's how I judge how much elastic I'm going to need to cut, and then cut just slightly, maybe about 5 mil more than that, because I sew it like that, and I just sew down there. And trust me, it's never pretty. I chuck it through the machine because it's quicker, but you can do it by hand. Here's one that I've already done, and you can see I don't even bother to use the right colour thread. I've just used brown and it's got black in the bottom. That's fine by me, because that seam is what gets covered by the ribbon. The ribbon, just cut it long enough so that it's comfortable for you to tie into a bow, and you can trim it off afterwards. And then there's 2 ways that you can tie it around there. Either you can do the loop where you go like that and you put the tails through to hide it. To be honest, I usually just tie 2 knots, one way and then one the other. And please excuse my knot tying because I am a lefty, and it will confuse your brain to watch me do something like this because I'm sure you tie it a different way. Okay, so I just tie it over that seam as best I can, but trust me, it's going to be hidden anyway. So it's just got a double knot there, and then all you need to do is tie that around. I tie another 2 knots so that it's not going anywhere even if the bow does undo. And it, because that has a bigger head than it does the stem, it's not going to come off. If those knots are tied nice and tight, it's not going anywhere. I've never had a problem with them coming undone. So just a double knot again, nice and tight, and then just tie a little bow. Get it to exactly where you want it. And that's it. And then when you've got the signatures sewn in, which I clearly do not at the moment, that then just comes up, loops around, and holds your journal nicely together, and still allows for room to put more in. You don't have to take the tie off and put the tie back on. It just stays on there like that when you open the journal. Yeah, so I'm going to have a play around with it because I haven't tied that knot exactly on the seam. Usually I do a better job than that, but because I'm on screen, nothing ever goes right. But yeah, I will just refix that up so that that knot is nicely covering the elastic. And that's it. That's how you do that closure. I hope that helps those people that have asked me how that's done, and I hope this is a new way for you to have a flexible closure that allows for more growth. Okay guys, I'll see you soon, maybe in a day or 2 once I've finished this lovely beauty, and she'll be up on sale on my Etsy site, and yeah, hopefully someone will enjoy her as much as my other journals. Okay my lovelies, bye.